Alright guys, good night everybody. Just let me know if you all can hear me please before I begin. Alright guys, great. Right now I am now looking at the paper. Right, I didn't really get a chance to look at it carefully. Right, as you would realize, some of the things that we did last night, some of it came in the exam. Right, so just for your knowledge, right? Yes, I do give online classes, right? And I do give CSEC maths, add maths, physics, and chemistry, right? For those of you who don't know, right, I am the author of these books here, right? This is the official A-level physics book, right? That is on the syllabus, and some other maths and physics workbook, right? So in this video, I'm gonna try to go through the solutions of the paper that came today, right? So the first thing that they want us to do, they said using a calculator or otherwise. And what I normally tell students to do, if they tell you could use a calculator, go ahead and use a calculator, right? You want to work out 7/8 plus 1/6 divided by 2/9, right? Now, to do this here, right, you have two different operations taking place here. You have addition and you have division, right? Now, if you all remember the order of your operations, we need to go with bod mass, right? That's the order of the operations that we're going to do. So it's brackets, then off, then division, multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. So what we're going to do, you're going to have to do this division first. So how this is going to work, it's like 7/8 plus 1/6 divided by 2/9. Right? That's what we're going to do. Now, to do this, right, you can use a calculator if you want. So, let's see. 1/6 divided by 2/9. I'm going to get 3/4, right? So, that is the same as saying 7/8, right, plus 3/4, right? And what I'm getting here is 13/8. Right? They want the exact value, so we're going to leave the answer as 13/8, right? So that's part A. Part B, they want me to work out 8 divided by 0.4 cube, right? So that's the same as saying, 8 divided by 0.4 multiplied by 0.4 multiplied by 0.4, right? Now this can be done on your calculator. This is not a big problem. Right, 8 divided by 0.4 cube, right, and I'm getting 125, right? That's what I'm getting, 125. So that's it. That's straightforward because they want the exact value, right? For part 2, right, they want us to work out this thing here to 2 decimal places, right? So you know what? Let me show you my calculator first of all. Hold on. So let's see how we're going to use this calculator to work this out, right? So let's see something here. Second function, square root of 26.8, and you're getting, all right. So since they want us to give the answer to 2 decimal places, I'm going to work out that square root first, and I'm going to get 5.177, right? So this here is 5.177 minus. Now, some students may have trouble trying to figure out how we working out this. So 2.5, you see this button here, right? Y to the power x, that allows me to enter that index there. So it's 3/2. So you put 3/2 in the calculator, and that's going to give me 3.953. So this is 3.953. So therefore, we're just going to subtract those two things now, right? So 5.177 minus 3.953 and I'm getting 1.224. 1.224. But the question says they want the answer to 2 decimal places. So that's going to be 1.22, and that's to 2 decimal places, right? Right, so that's that part there. Now, children go to rodeo camp during the Easter holiday. Miss Reka buys bananas and oranges for the children at the camp, right? So we have a camp and we have bananas and oranges. In part 1, bananas cost $3.85 per kilogram. Miss Reka buys 25 kilograms of bananas and receives a discount of 12%. How much money does she spend on the bananas? So we know that 1 kg, right, actually costs $3.85, right? So that's 1 kg. Now she buys 25 kg. All we need to do is to take this 25 and multiply it by $3.85, right? 1 second, let me just get rid of this calculator here. I don't think you need it right now. Yeah, sorry about that. Right, so we're going to work out 25 by 3.85, and I'm going to get 96. So this here is going to be $96.25, right? Now that's the amount of money that she has to pay for the bananas. However, she's getting a discount of 12%. So the discount, right, is going to be 12%, right, multiplied by $96.25. Right? So what I'm doing here, I'm working out the discount. Now 12% is the same as saying 12 over 100 multiplied by 96.25. Right? So that's going to work out to multiply by 2, and I'm getting $11.55. Now that's a discount. They said how much money does she spend, right? So the money spent, right, is simply going to be whatever the original amount was, which is $96.25. That's how much she would have paid without the discount, minus the discount of $11.55. Right, and that's going to give me $96.25 minus $11.55, and that's going to give me $84.70. Right, so that's the amount of money that she's going to pay for this thing, right? That's what she's going to pay for this, right? The next thing now, Miss Reka spends $165.31 inclusive of a sales tax of 15% on the oranges. Calculate the original price. Now, this figure here, right, this 165.31, they said it includes a sales tax of 15%. So what that really means here is that you see this this amount, this 165.31, that actually is worth 115%, right? Remember, your original figure or your whole is always 100%. But what we are doing here, we have added a tax of 15%. So that 115%, right, is actually equal to 165.31, right? So all we need to do, we just need to figure out what is 100%. Once you figure out 100%, that's going to give you your original price that she actually would have paid without the tax. So all we need to do here is to take 100 multiplied by 165.31 and divide that by 115, and that's going to give me a figure of 165.31 divided by 115, and I am getting 143.75, right? That's what I'm getting as my figure, right? Yeah, so that's your price. So this is your original price. Right, so let's come here now. Now the next part of the question is that the ratio of the bananas to the number of oranges is 2 to 3, right? So your ratio is 2 to 3. Furthermore, there are 24 more oranges than bananas. Calculate the number of bananas bought, right? So my ratio, right, is 2 to 3. That's a ratio, right? Now they are saying that we have bought that's not, right, so which one is which again? Bananas. So this is bananas and this is oranges, and they are telling us that we have 24 more oranges than bananas, right? So therefore, in terms of numbers, right, so the number of bananas, right, let's call that x, right, that's how much it is, right, and the number of oranges, right, they said we have 24 more oranges than bananas, right? So therefore it's going to be x plus 24, right? So that's what we know. And the thing is, this ratio, right, so the ratio is 2 to 3, right, but we also know that it's going to be like this, x to x plus 24, right? That's what we know. So let's see what we're going to do here, right? Now the ratio is telling me that I have 2 parts, right, to 3 parts, right? And what we can say here is that x is equal to 2/5 parts, right? That's what x corresponds to, right? X corresponds to 2/5, and x plus 24, right, that corresponds to 3/5, right? Now let's see, do we need anything else here? Hold on. Right, like I said, I'm now doing the paper, I'm now looking at the paper, yeah? So let me just read this a little more. Calculate the number of bananas, so 24 more. Alright, so watch what's happening here, right? So in terms of the total amount of bananas and oranges, right? So your total here, right, is going to be x plus 24, right? And that's going to give me 2x plus 24, right? That'll give me the total number of bananas and oranges, right? So what that means, let me see something here. Alright, so 2/5 multiply by, I'm trying to find an easy way to make you guys work this out, right? Some people said they got 48, right? But how you got 48? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm getting 48 for the value of, yeah, I'm getting 48 as the answer, right? I was trying to find an easier way to make you guys work this out. So here's what I did, right? The number of bananas, I'm calling it X. The number of oranges, that's going to be X plus 24, right? Because they said we have 24 more bananas, right? Sorry, 24 more oranges than bananas. So therefore, I have X bananas and X plus 24. So your total, the total number of bananas and oranges will be X plus 24, which is 2X plus 24, right? Now, what I do know is that the ratio is 2 to 3, right? So therefore, if I look at, let's say, oranges, it means that if I take 2/5, right, and I multiply by the total number of oranges and bananas, the number that I should get should be this, right? So what I've done, I've created an equation that allows me to solve for X, right? I hope that that makes a little sense, right? But the answer I'm getting here is 48, right? All right, so that's question one. That's question one there, right? Question two, they want us to factorize a quadratic. So if you all had looked at the broad topics, right? They said quadratic was coming. So this is what I want to factorize. I want to factorize 5x squared minus 9x, right? Plus 4, right? And you know when you factorize this, you're going to get two brackets, right? Now, if you want to get 5x squared, you know this has to be a 5x here, and this has to be a 5x. Now, to get this 4 here, we can use maybe 2 and 2. Now, let's see if that's making sense. 5 2s are 10. Nope, that won't work. Maybe if I use 4 and 1. So 5x by x will give me 5x squared, 4 by 1. And what if I use negative here and negative here, right? So let's look at this carefully. If I want to get 5x squared, 5x by this x will give me this 5x squared, so we're good. If I want to get positive 4, right? If I want to get positive 4, then I'm multiplying negative 4 by negative 1. So yes, I'm getting positive 4. Now to get this one in the middle here, right? What you have to do, so I'm just double checking the answer here, guys. That's what I'm doing. You have to multiply the two closest terms, which is minus 4 by x will give me minus 4x, right? And I need to multiply my two furthest terms, right? That's 5 by minus 1. That's going to give me minus 5x. And when I add these two numbers, I should get my middle term. So minus 4x minus 5x is going to give me minus 9x. So the answer is exactly what I wrote here. So it is 5x minus 4 multiplied by x minus 1. That's what I'm going to get when I factorize this, right? Yeah, so those of you asking about the recording, yes, it's been recorded, right? The next part of the question here, they want me to solve this equation. Now, I've already told students that sometimes we need the answer from the previous part. So what's happening here? If you look at something here, this quadratic and this quadratic here is the same, and they told us hence solve. So what you're going to do, you already factorize it. So it's 5x minus 4 in one bracket, x minus 1 in the next bracket, and that's equal to 0. So you're almost there with the question. All you need to say is either 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. So you put in one of the bracket equal to 0. So 5x is equal to 4, and therefore x is equal to 4 over 5, right? So that's one answer. Or you can put the second bracket equal to 0. That's x minus 1 equal to 0, and therefore x is equal to 1. So those are my two solutions. That's it, right? So this, what they gave you guys here for this one here, this is one of the hardest changing of the subject of the formula that you can be given in the exam, right? So we have W. So let me start it up here. W is equal to 5 plus V over V minus 3, right? Now, you want to make V the subject of the formula here. So the first thing I would do is to write W as W over 1. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that so that I can cross multiply. So I can say this by this is equal to that multiplied by that, right? So when I cross multiply here, right, I'm going to get W open brackets V minus 3 is equal to 1 by 5 plus V, right? Now I'm going to remove the brackets. So W by V is going to give you WV minus 3W is equal to 5 plus V. Carry all your V's on one side. Remember, you're trying to make V the subject of the formula, so you want to get V equal to something. So WV minus V is equal to 5 plus 3W, right? Now, on the left-hand side, you realize you have two terms in V, so you're going to have to factorize. So this is going to be W minus 1 is equal to 5 plus 3W. So V is equal to 5 plus 3W over W minus 1. Now, some of you all would have gotten something that is slightly different to this, right? And the reason why has to do with how you rearrange this, right? So this is one possible answer, but some students may have done it like this, right? So this is an alternative, right? Some students would have done V, 5 plus V is equal to W open brackets V minus 3. Some students would have done that. In which case they would have gotten V, 5 plus V is equal to WV minus 3W. Carry all your V's on one side, you're going to get V minus VW is equal to negative 3W minus 5, right? And you factorize again, 1 minus W is equal to minus 3W minus 5. So therefore V is equal to minus 3W minus 5 all over 1 minus W. So this is an alternative answer that some of you all may have gotten in the exam, right? Some of you all may have gotten this, right? Right, so that's my answer for part B, right? Now this next one here, they said the height of an object is directly proportional to the square root of its perimeter. Write an equation for this thing. So they're saying that H, so if you all remember, I did a question similar to this. Well, not similar, but on variation. So they say it's directly proportional to the square root of the perimeter. So that is the square root of P. That's what the statement means, you know. The height of an object is proportional to the square root of P. Now, I told you guys that you can't leave the proportional sign. You have to replace it. So therefore, it's going to be H is equal to K multiplied by the square root of P. That's what you're going to do, right? The next thing now in part 2, they said given that H, so we have H and we have P, and they want us to determine the value of H when P is equal to 2.89. So what CSEC is trying to do here, they're trying to tell you here what? Go and figure out what K is. So all I'm going to do, so H is 5.4 is equal to K multiplied by the square root of 1.44. So therefore K is equal to 5.4 divided by the square root of 1.44. So therefore K, so that's 5.4 divided by second function square root 1.44, and I'm getting K as 4.5. So I don't know what you all got, right? Now the thing is, I'm working this for the first time, so if you all see me making any errors, just let me know, right? So we're not done with the question, eh? We're not done with it. That's key. So therefore, our equation is 4.5, right? Multiplied by the square root of P. So now, they said, what is the value of H when P is equal to 2.89? So when P is equal to 2.89, H is equal to 4.5 multiplied by the square root of 2.89, and that's going to give me and I'm getting 7.65. right? So that's the answer for that part, right? Now, they give us a transformation question here, right? And this question here, the shapes, they're a little strange, but that's okay, right? So we have PQRS on a square grid, right? And what do they want? They said, describe fully the single transformation that maps P. So our original figure is this black shape here. This shape is our original figure, right? And they are telling us that that shape maps onto Q, R, and S. And they want us to describe the transformation as fully as we can. So let's start with the first one. We have P and we have Q here. Now, you all need to look at the two diagrams and you're going to realize, wait a minute, the size is the same, but you realize the orientation has changed. So if the orientation has changed, chances are it's a rotation, right? Now, and when you are describing a rotation, so if you all remember last night, I said you have to state what the center of rotation is, you have to state whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, and you have to state what the angle is. Now, if I rotate that solid shape around this point here, right? That point is what? 7, 7. So you're rotating that shape P about 7, 7, and you're actually rotating this thing 180 degrees. So here's what you're going to see. They want a single transformation. So it's a rotation, right, of 180 degrees about the point 7, 7, right? Now it's 180 degrees, so I can say clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter. So rotation of 180 degrees about the point 0, 0, and you can say anti-clockwise or even clockwise. Any one will give you the mark here, right? Or clockwise, right? And we could only say that because the angle here is 180 degrees. Now if you notice, they're giving you 3 marks for this. Let me show you what they're giving you this mark for. You're saying there's a rotation. You need to specify the angle, and you also need to specify this here, right? You need to specify what is your center of rotation, right? Now the next thing, now we want to map this thing onto R. Look at where R is here. Now if you look at P and you look at R, you realize, wait a minute, that to me looks like a reflection. And to figure out where your mirror line is, if it's a reflection, now we did this just last night, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So therefore, your mirror line has to be this here. This here is your mirror line. And that's going to correspond to this point here. So your mirror line is x is equal to 1. So therefore, when they tell you to describe the transformation, right, all you're going to say here is a reflection in the line x is equal to 1. That's it. It's a reflection in the line x is equal to 1. That's what it is, right? Next part, they want to know how does it map to S. So we're looking at this now. When you look at this now, you realize, wait a minute. If we compare P and S, you realize it's larger. So that automatically tells me something, that that's an enlargement, right? But the thing is, with an enlargement, so you're going to say enlargement however, you need to say what the scale factor is. So it's an enlargement. We must specify what the scale factor is, right? You realize it's 3 marks, eh? So your scale factor, you need to tell them that. And you also need to tell them what is the center of enlargement. Right, how do we get those things? So to get the scale factor, we just need to compare 2 lengths, right? So if I compare, let's say this length here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 units here. And this length here is 1, 2 units, right? So therefore your scale factor is going to be 4 divided by 2, and that's going to give you 2. You could have done it this way as well. You could have looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is another way we can work out the scale factor. So this is 8 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're still going to get a scale factor of 2. So you need to specify the scale factor to get the marker. So you're going to say 2. That's your scale factor. And the center of enlargement, So you have to go to the diagram and you need to figure out the center of enlargement. How do I do that? You're going to draw some lines, and that's going to help us. Right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to join, let's say, this point here, right? And pass it through that point. Right? Now we're going to draw a few lines to figure out where our center of enlargement is, right? So I'm going to join this point to this point here, right? I feel I need an X line just to make sure we have the exact same point, right? I'm going to join this point. So in the exam, that's what you should have done. Right? And if you all notice something here, I've drawn 3 lines and all of them seem to be meeting up at this point here, which is 7, 11, right? So this point here is 7, 11. So that point there is actually my center of enlargement, right? So this here is 7, 11, right? So 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. That's where they're getting this 3 mark thing from. Right, so guys, please hit like and subscribe, and you can share the link with your friends, right? Right, so that's question 2. Oh no, you have an next part still. Right, so if you all look at the live session I had last night, you all realize we kind of covered some of these things, right? So you all should have been able to at least answer this question. Now they said on the grid, you want to perform, draw the shape P after translation by this here, minus 2, 3. Now, this minus 2, 3 means something. This means 2 units to the left. Right? This here means 3 units upwards. Right? That's what those numbers mean. When you see negative 2, it means 2 units to the left, 3 units upwards. So let's go. We're gonna perform a translation on shape P, right? So let me just write down what the translation is here. It's minus 2, 3. Right? That's what the vector is. So let's see. We're starting off. So I'm gonna start with maybe this point here. Now negative 2 means I'm going 1, 2, and then I'm going up 3. 1, 2, 3. So this here is 1 point. I've translated that point. Let's go with this point here. I'm going negative 2 and 1, 2, 3 upwards. So that's here, right? Let me do maybe this one here. And I'm going negative 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going 1, 2, 3 up here. So this is where we are. You can do maybe this point now. Negative 2, 1, 2, and you're going 3 upwards. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're coming here, right? So all I need to do, right? This is what my shape is going to be. It's going to be here. Right? And that is what they call it. They call it something. I think they call it T, right? Yeah, they say label it T. So you all need to put a T here so they know what you're talking about. Everybody okay? Right, let's move on to question 4. Right? Again, they gave us 2 functions, right? And they want us to work out g of a third. So g of x, right, is equal to 3x minus 1. So if you want to work out g of a third, all we're going to do, we're going to substitute. So you're going to substitute 1/3 into this equation. Minus 1. 1/3 by 3 is going to give me 1. 1 minus 1, I'm going to get 0. Right? So g of 1/3 is going to be 0. The next part, they want us to find f inverse of minus 3. So the function f of x is 5x plus 7. So f of x is equal to 5x plus 7. So what I need to do, I need to figure out what is the inverse first of all. That's what you need. So to do that, you're going to let y equal to 5x plus 7. The next step is the interchange. Right? So you're going to get x is equal to 5y plus 7. So therefore 5y plus 7 is equal to x. So 5y is equal to x minus 7, and y is equal to x minus 7 divided by 5. Right? So what that means here is that your inverse function is going to be x minus 7 divided by 5. So the question wants me to work out f inverse of minus 3. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute minus 3 into my equation. So this is going to be minus 3 minus 7 divided by 5. Minus 3 minus 7 is minus 10 divided by 5. And you're going to get minus 2. So that's your answer there. Right? The answer is minus 2. Next part, they gave us a straight line, and what they want here, write down the equation of this straight line. So here's what we need to do. You want to find out the equation of this line here, right? All equations look like this. So all equation of a straight line is y equal mx plus c. Now, I already know what the y-intercept is. I can see that right here. I know what that is. So c in this case is simply going to be 1, right? Next thing I need to do, I need to find the gradient. I need to know what m is. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you're going to select any 2 points you want. I'm going to choose this point and maybe this point. This looks very easy to remember or to read off. So the first point is 0, 1. And the second point is 6, 3. Right? And what I normally tell my class, I say make sure and label these things. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm just going to substitute that into my equation, right? So that is going to be 3 minus 1, right, divided by 6 minus 0. So 3 minus 1 is 4, and you divided that by 6, and that's going to give you 2/3, right? So therefore my gradient of this line here is going to be 2/3. Is that correct? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh wait, no, I have an error there. Hold on. What kind of crazy maths are doing here? 3 minus 1 is 2, right? So it's 1/3, 1/3, right? So the gradient is 1/3. So this the equation is going to be y is equal to 1/3 x plus 1. So that's your answer. Y is equal to 1/3 x plus 1. Right, so the answer here is y is equal to 1/3 x plus 1. That's my equation, right? Now the second part, now they said a different line q. So you have a different line here, and that line is y is equal to minus 2x plus 8, right? Now write down the coordinates of the point where q crosses the x-axis. So this is not the first time they've asked a question like this. When you cross the x-axis, y has to be equal to 0. So what we're going to do, we're going to put y is equal to 0 into this equation. So therefore 0 is equal to minus 2x plus 8, right? So 2x is equal to 8, and therefore x is equal to 8 over 2, which is equal to 4. So therefore the x-intercept, right, is going to be 4, 0. That's what your answer is going to be. It's going to be 4, 0. For the next one, they said write down the coordinates where it crosses the y-axis. Now, this here is your y-intercept. So we don't need to do any calculation here, right? This is my y-intercept. So therefore, they said, and that's why they said write down. So this is simply going to be 0, 8. That's it, right? It's going to be 0, 8. Now, they said complete the statement below. According to the graph, the solution to the system of equations consisting of L and Q is what? Now, I know some students may have looked at this and they were not sure what they were asking here. What they expect you to do here, right? You have a graph that is L, and they also give you an equation which is Q, right? That's this one here, Q. But the thing is, Q passes through this point here, 4, 0 and 0, 8. So what you had to do was go to the graph. So 4, 0, that's here, and 0, 8 is up here. And what you're going to do, you're going to draw a line to represent Q. So not sure if you all did that, right? But this is what you're going to do. Right? So you're drawing a straight line that passes through this point, and it also passes through this point here, right? Now, all we need to do, so this is line Q here that we just drew, right? That's line Q. Now, if you notice something here, those two lines, they intersect at a particular point. They're intersecting here, right? At this point, which is 3, 2, right? So when they ask you for this here, according to the graph, the solution to the system of equations, L and Q, all you're going to do is tell them that coordinate there. You're going to say 3, 2. That's it. That's all they wanted there. Alright, so that's question 4. I don't think we're done yet. Oh yeah, we're done with question 4. This is question 5, right? So question 5. A school nurse records the height, age of each of 150 students in class A who was vaccinated. Okay, so we have some group data here, and we have number of students, and they have the height. That's a weird question because why are they measuring, they're vaccinating people and they're measuring the height? Okay. Complete the table below, right? So this is the same data we're looking at, right? All right, so we have number of students, we have midpoint, and we want to estimate the mean. So last night we did a question like this. If you want to estimate the mean, so this is your frequency here, and you have to work out your midpoint, right? So let's work out this table here. So to get the midpoint, we just need to add this number plus this number and divide by 2. So that is going to be 130, right? So again, probably a mark for that. 120 plus 140 divided by 2, I get 130. Now, this here is a column that we normally add when we have group data. So to work this piece out here, we're going to multiply 67 by 130. So 67 multiplied by 130, and I'm going to get 8710. 8710, right? Now, last night, I told you all how to find mean. Mean is given by sigma xf divided by sigma f. That's what we said. So all you need to do, well, you need to add up the number of students here, right? Did it tell me how many? Nope, they didn't say how many. So 4 plus 20 plus 35 plus 67 plus 20 plus 4, and I'm getting 150 students. So this here is 150 students. I also need to work out sigma xf. So let's add that. So 280 plus 1800 plus 3850 plus 8710 plus 3000 plus 680, and I'm going to get 18,320. I'm going to add that again, right, just in case. So 280 plus 1800 plus 3850 plus 8710 plus 3000 plus 680, and that's okay. So 18320. So all you need to do now is say 18320 divided by 150, and that's going to give you a mean height. And you're going to get around, so they said they want to answer to 1 decimal place, so it's going to be 122.1, and this is height we're talking about, so it's going to be cm, right? That's what that's going to be. Right? So those of you who came last night, you should have gotten this question correct, right? The next thing here now, in class B, the mean height of the students was 123.5 and the standard deviation was, all right, so this is the second time they bring in a question like this, right? So this is, that's not, this is for who? Let me just read back something here. All right, so class, all right, so this is class A. Right, and what we got a mean for class A that we worked out, and we got 122.1 cm, right? And they are telling us that the standard deviation for A, so your standard deviation for A is equal to 21.38 cm, right, for class B. So some people probably left this out completely, right? And that's okay, because I think this was just one mark I saw. So for class B, your mean height was 123.5 cm, right? And your standard deviation in this case here for B was 29.87. Now what they want us to do, they said comment on the distribution of the heights in both class A and class B. Now, when they speak about distribution, right? Your distribution, so this is your mean. Let's do class A. So your mean for class A is 122.1 and the standard deviation is 21.8. What that means in terms of your distribution, right? So your standard deviation, what does this mean? Standard deviation is your spread, right? Or better yet, your deviation from your mean. Right? That's what it is. It's your spread. That gives you an idea of your spread, right? So what that means, that's my spread here. In this case, your standard deviation was 21.38. So this here is 21.38, right? So this is for class A. In the case of class B now, what's going to happen here is that you have a higher mean. So your mean, right, is 123.5, right? And you have a standard deviation of 29.87. So you realize, wait a minute, right? You realize it's spread out a little more. So your standard deviation here, in this instance here, is 29.87, right? So in the case of class B, so this is class B, right? The heights, so what we can say is that the heights are further from the mean than class A, right? So we can say class B, the heights are further from the mean, right? In the case of class A now, you have a smaller standard deviation, so your data is closer to the mean, right? So any statement along those lines, that's what they're looking for here, right? That's what it is. The next part now, the cumulative frequency table below, use the information to construct a cumulative frequency curve. So last night again, I showed you all how to do this. So we keep adding up. You're going to take whatever your cumulative frequency was before, you add your frequency. So 4 plus 20 is going to give me 24. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add 24 plus 35, and that's going to give you 59, right? Then 59 plus 67, 9 and 7 is 16, 5, 6, 5, 11, 12, right? So this is correct here. Now the next one here will be 126 plus 20, so that's going to give you 146. So you're getting, this is what we want here, and this is what we want here. So you have to complete the table. That's what it did. The next thing now, use your cumulative frequency curve. So what did they do here? Oh, okay, so they gave us some points. They plotted some of them. Alright, so they plotted 100 against 24. So what we're going to do, we're going to plot 120 against 59. So 120 against 59, that's somewhere here. And the next point is 140 against 126. Right, well, they plotted that first already, right? And the next one here is 160 against 146. 160 against 142, 44, 46, right? So this is a point here, and this is a point here, right? And they want us to complete a cumulative frequency curve, right? So it's kind of hard for me to draw it here, so I use my fancy tools. Right? So that's all you all need to do, draw a smooth curve through these things, right? Right? As best as you can. You're going to draw a smooth curve through these things, right? The next thing they want an estimate for the median height of the students. So you have a total of 150 students, right? So remember last night I said you first need to find half of your total number, right? So that's going to give you what, 75, right? That's going to give you 75, right? So you're going to go to the graph and you need to read off where is 75. So let's draw some construction lines here. So you need two sets of lines. Right? So you're reading off at 75. Remember, this is an estimate here, right? So what I'm getting here, you may get something slightly different. Right, so I have something here, but the next thing we need to do, we need to draw a line going vertically now to meet our height axis, right? So you're going to come here now and you're going to read off that value. Now my value, like I said, this is an estimate because the graph will depend on your curve that you drew. So I'm getting, this is about maybe 28, maybe 128, right? It depends on how you draw it. So in this case here, my median is 128 cm, right? That's what I'm getting here. Next thing, we want to work out the probability, right? Oh my, so they gave you taller than, right? So taller, we need to be careful. So taller than 130. So if you all remember how we do this, right, from last night, you have to be careful with taller than. So you're going to draw a line here at 130, right? That's 130 here. One sec. Right, so this is 130. I'm reading off at 130, right? And that actually corresponds to, according to my diagram there, about 80, right? I'm getting 80. Now, please, I hope you all didn't use 80 as your value, because if you all remember last night, I said you have to be careful with these more than things, right? So yes, we're getting 80 here, but we are concerned with taller than the 130. Right? Now remember, this graph tells me that 80 students have a height less than 130. That's what that's telling me, right? But it means that there are 150 minus 80 that have a height taller than that, right? So we have to take 150 minus the 80, and you're going to get 70, right? So that's what you have to do first. 150 minus 80, and you're going to get 70. So the probability that you are taller than 130, right, is going to be how many students greater than 130, which is 70, divided by the total number of students, which is 150. So therefore the answer is going to be 7 over 15. Right, so where are we now? All right, so that's question 5, right? Let's move on. All right, so question 6 now. They have a diagram here. It shows a solid made of a semicircular cylindrical base with a rectangular prism above it. All right, so what they're telling us here is that on top here we have a rectangular prism, right? And at the bottom here, what they're saying is that we have a semicircular cylindrical base. Right? So I'm trying to understand the diagram, right? I'm watching the diagram, trying to understand. So they want the total surface area of the solid, right? What's the total surface area of the solid? Now they give us a little thing here. They said the surface area A of a cylinder, right, is equal to this figure here, right? Let me look at this diagram properly. And what they want the total surface area. So I don't like how this diagram is drawn at all, right? They are telling me that this is a semicircle, right? So what that means is that this length here, right, that radius of my semicircle should be 2 cm. That's what they're trying to say here. That should be 2 cm. Okay. Total surface area of a cylinder. All right, so for a normal cylinder, right, the total surface area is given by this formula here. So that's this circle, that's the circle at the bottom, and that's the curved part, right? Alright, so all we're going to do for the base part, you're going to use the formula to work out, right? We're going to cut this thing in half here. That's what we want to do. We want to cut this in half. So, cylinder, right, is given by this formula. A is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, right? So that's going to be 2. What they told us to take pi as by. Alright, I don't see enough value for pi, so I'm going to take pi as 3.14. So that's 3.14 multiplied by the radius. According to my diagram here, that radius has to be 2 cm. So this is going to be 2 cm squared plus 2 by 3.14 multiplied by your radius, which is 2 again, multiplied by your height. Your height in this case here is going to be the length of this thing, which is 12. Right? Now let's work that out carefully. So that's 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 2 squared, which is 4, plus, open brackets, 2 by 3.14 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 12, close brackets, equal. And what I'm getting here is 175.84 cm squared, right? Now that's for a whole cylinder, but we are concerned, based on the diagram here, this is half of a cylinder, right? So therefore we need to chop this thing in half. So therefore, for a half cylinder, right, what we're going to do, we're going to say 175.84 divided by 2. And you're going to get 87.92. Right? And this here is cm squared. So all we've done here, we worked out this area, this piece, and this curved piece here. Right? That's what we worked out. The next thing we need to do, we need to work out the, let me just double check something here. The one, the total surface area of the solid. So what we need to do, we need to look at that rectangular prism on top now. Right? But we need to be careful how you're working out these areas. This area here, this one here, is going to be 4 multiplied by 4. So this is going to be 16 cm squared. Right? Therefore, on this side here, this is also going to be 16 cm squared. Right? On the back here, this one in the back here is going to be 12 by 4. That's 48 cm squared. Right? And then we have a 48 to the front as well. Right? So this one here is going to be 48 cm squared. And the only one we're missing now is on the top, which is another 48. So on top here, you have a next 48. Right? So therefore, so from the rectangular prism, we have to add, let's look at all the faces. You have 3 faces that are 48. That's the top, the back, and the front. So that's 48 multiplied by 3. So that's 3 multiplied by 48. Plus, we have 2 faces on the sides, which are 16. So that's 2 by 16. Right? So this, it's very easy to make a mistake here, yes? 3 by 48 plus brackets 2 by 16, close brackets, and I'm getting 176, right? Cm squared. But they wanted you to work out the total surface area of the solid. So now I have to take, so your final answer, right, is going to be 87.92 plus 176. And I'm getting 263.92. Right? Hopefully that is correct. Right? Let me just double check this here and make sure we're good with that. right? Let's hope that's correct. Right? Let's hope that's correct. Right? Right. The next thing they want, well, they want the volume of the solid now, right? So if you go back to the diagram, you have a cuboid, right? And you have a semicircular cylinder, basically, right? So your volume, right? So let's deal with so volume of cuboid, right? That's gonna simply be my base area, which is this here, 16 multiplied by 12, right? That's the volume of that cuboid. That's very easy to work out. 16 multiplied by 12. So this here is 16 multiplied by 12, and that's going to give me 192. Right? So that's my volume of my cuboid on top. The volume of the cylindrical part right? Now, the volume of a cylinder is given by pi r squared h, right? But the thing is, you have half of a cylinder. So therefore, it's pi r squared h divided by 2. So this is going to be 3.14. Let me just double check something. Did this say to leave your answer? Okay, they didn't say leave your answer in terms of pi, so that's fine. Multiply by your radius squared. We said that the radius of this thing is 2 cm squared. Multiply by the height. The length of the cylinder here is actually 12, right? The length of the cylinder is 12 cm. So this is going to be 12 over 2. So that's going to be 3.14 multiplied by 4 by 12 divided by 2. And I'm going to get 75.36. Right? cm cubed. So total volume is going to be 192 plus 75.36, and I'm going to get 267.36. Right? So that's your volume. That's your total volume. The next part now, they said the solid is made from gold, and 1 cm cube of gold has a mass of 19.3 grams. The cost of 1 gram is 42.62. Calculate the cost of gold used to make this solid. So what we're going to do, they said that 1 cm cube, right, is equivalent to 19.3 grams. So therefore, use the answer that we just got, which is 267.36 cm cube. And you want to convert that into grams. So to do that, all we need to do is to say 267.36 multiplied by 19.3. And that's going to give you 5160, right? And that is grams, right? Now they said that the cost of the gold, they said now they say in 1 gram of gold, right, actually costs 42.62. So therefore, all we need to do is to work out for 5160 grams, right? And all we need to do is to multiply 5160 by 42.62, and that's going to give me my value in gold, right? Which is a lot of money, right? I'm getting $219921, right? Well, 0.25. Alright, so let's do the next part now. Alright. At an entertainment hall, tables and chairs are arranged in two different ways. Right? So we have some arrangement taking place here. Draw the diagram for 4 tables using arrangement L. So what you're going to do, you're going to look at the pattern. So the table is facing this way. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 tables, right? And if you notice how the pattern is looking, you have 1, 2, 3 here. You're going to have 1, 2, 3 here. And then you're going to have two chairs by each of these ends here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we have the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's it. That's all they want, because they want for arrangement L. That's what it is, right? Alright, so the number of chairs that can be placed around a given number of tables T from either L or M forms a pattern. The values of C for the arrangement for both arrangements. So basically, right, they kind of, right, so they give us a table here and they want us to complete this table. So what I normally tell my students is try to figure out the formula for n first before you do anything, right? So let's look at the pattern here. So you're going from 10 to 14, so you've added 4. When you jump from 14 to 18, we've also added 4. Now let's look at our diagram. According to our diagram, let's see how many chairs we had. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Right? So therefore, for this one here, I am getting 22. Right? You're getting 22 for this. And to jump from here to here, you've added 4. Right? Now, in the case of the arrangement for C, right? In the case of the arrangement for C, if you notice something here, you are adding 6, right? When I go from here to here, I'm also adding 6. So therefore, if I want to jump from here to here, I'm going to add 6. So without doing anything, the answer here should be 28, right? So you're getting 2 marks just for working out 22 and 28. Now, let's try to find a relationship for this here. Now, the fact that we keep adding 4 in this column here, that's going to appear somewhere in my equation. So therefore, it's going to be, let's see, 4, 8 and 6, 4. Right, so if you look carefully, right, the 4, like I said, it should appear. So if I go 4n plus 6, right, because when n is 1, our number of chairs here is 10. So therefore, if I look at the formula like this, 4 by 1 plus 6, right, I'm going to get 10. For when we have 2 tables, it's going to be 4 by 2 plus 6. And I'm going to get 4 2s are 8 and 6 is 14. So far the equation looks like it's working. 4 by 3 is 12 plus 6 is going to give me 18. So this equation works. So it's 4n plus 6. Then we need to work out this one here. Now you're kind of adding 6 all the time. So this is going to be 6n, right? Plus what? 6n plus 4, maybe? Yeah, that works here. 6n plus 4 works. Because if I put 6 by 1 plus 4, I'm going to get 10. If I put 2 tables, 6 by 2 is 12 plus 4, I'm going to get 14. So it's, sorry, not 14, 16. Right? So that formula actually works there. Right? That formula is working. All right, so I have this here now. Now the next thing that we want to do, you need to figure out what is the number of tables for here and this, right? All I need to do, since this is 130 and I know what the formula is, I'm going to say 6n plus 4 is equal to 130. So 6n is equal to 130 minus 4. So 6n is equal to 126 and n is equal to 126 over 6. So therefore n is going to be equal to 21. So therefore this here is 21, and to figure this piece out here, it's simply going to be 4 by 21 plus 6, right? And that's going to give me 90. So this here is going to be 90, right? That's 90 here. Right, now Leon needs to arrange tables to seat 70 people for a birthday party. Which of the arrangements LOM will allow him to rent the least number of tables? Right, so we want 70 people, right? Yeah, we want to sit 70 people, right? So if you notice something here, you have a formula here for number of chairs using arrangement L. This one here is number of chairs for arrangement M. So let's see. So for M, right, the formula is 4n plus 6. So 4n plus 6, right? And we need to be able to fit, how many people? 70. Right? So 4n is equal to 70 minus 6, right? So therefore 4n is equal to 64, and therefore n is 64 over 4, right? So therefore n in this case here is going to give me 16. So according to this here, right, if I use arrangement M, I need 16 tables in order to do that, to fit 70 people, right? So for the next one, L, oh sorry, this one is L. So this is for arrangement L, this one is M, and the arrangement for M is 6n plus 4. So 6n plus 4 is equal to 70. So 6n is 70 minus 4. So 6n is equal to 66. So n is equal to 66 over 6. So n is equal to 11 tables. So they said which one will allow him to use the least number of tables. So therefore arrangement M will give me less tables. Right? And because we have 11 tables in the scenario here. Alright, question 8 now. This is what? Linear programming? Yeah. A rental company has X cars and Y minivans. The company has at least 8 vehicles altogether. The number of minivans is less than or equal to the number of cars. Right? Write down 3 inequalities to represent this thing. So the first thing, the company has at least 8 vehicles together. Right? So that means that X plus Y, right? Now they said at least. Whenever they say at least, they mean greater than or equal to 8. That's my first inequality, right? So that's inequality 1. Second inequality, they said that the number of minivans, so minivans, that's Y, is less than, so Y is less than or equal to the number of cars, right? So that's what this is. And the third inequality, the number of cars is no more than 9. So the number of cars, which is X, is no more than. Therefore, it has to be less than or equal to 9. You can't exceed 9. Right, let me just double check and make sure that's okay. At least 8 vehicles together. So when you add them up, you have, right, so at least that means greater than. The number of minivans, as Y, is less than or equal to the number of cars. And the number of cars is no more than 9. Yeah, that's it. Right, now a car can carry 4 people and a minivan can carry 6 people, right? There are at most 60 persons to take on a tour, right? So let's make sure we know which variable is which. So the car is X. So the car is X and the minivan is Y, right? So therefore, and there are at most 60 people. So what that means is that 4X, right? Because each car can hold 4 people, plus 6 in your minivan, right? They said at most 60. So that means less than or equal to 60, right? If I divide everything here by 2, I'm going to get 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30, which is what they said to show, right? Right, so the next thing here now, you want to draw 4 lines to represent all these inequalities. So let's write down the inequalities first of all, right? X plus y greater than or equal to 8. X plus y is greater than or equal to 8. The next one is y is less than or equal to x. The next one is x is less than or equal to 9. And the last one that we had was 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 30. 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30, right? So let's start with the easy one first, right? Let's start with, I can do this one here. Let me get some lines. Right, so let's start with the line. We're going to draw the line y is equal to x, right? That's an easy line to draw. So y is equal to x looks like this. Right, so this here represents the line y is equal to x. Right, so that's one line that I need to draw, right? I also have to draw the line x equal to 9. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the lines first, and then I'm going to shade the correct region, right? So this one here, x is equal to 9, is this line here. Once you have to draw a vertical line, right? A vertical line is x is equal to something. So this line here is x is equal to 9, right? What else we have to draw? So that's this one, that's this one. X plus y is equal to 8, right? X plus y is equal to 8 is going to look like this. It's going to pass through this point here, 0, 8, and pass through this point here. Right, so that here is x plus y is equal to 8, right? And the last line here that we want to draw is 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. So I need to work out some things here in order to do that, right? So 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. So the easiest thing to do is to substitute some values. So when x is equal to 0, right, 2 by 0 plus 3y is equal to 30. So therefore 3y is equal to 30. So y is equal to 30 over 3. So y is equal to 10. So therefore this point here is 0, 10. And what I'll do now, I'll substitute 0 now. So 2x is equal to 30. So x is 30 over 2. X is equal to 15. So therefore this point here is going to be 15, 0. That's what this point is. So I'm going to plot those 2 points, 0, 10 and 15, 0. So 0, 10 is up here and 15, 0 is down here, right? So knowing CXC now, this is going to be one weird graph. Let's see what's happening here. Right? Did anybody get graphs like these? Right? Now the thing is, we're not finished yet, right? That's just the graphs. We have to shade the correct region now. Now let's look at the inequalities here. So the first inequality, right? Let me try the. Now let me show you how I normally do this. Alright, so the first one, let's see, this one is very easy. X is less than 9. What that means is that I'm going to shade this way. X is less than 9 means I'm going to shade that way, right? The next one now, let's do this one. Y is less than or equal to X. So Y is less than or equal to X. I'm going to choose a test point. I'm going to choose maybe, let me try 4, 2, right? I'm going to choose that point there, 4, 2. Right? That's my test point. I'm using the test point to determine where am I going to shade. So that means that X is 4 and Y is equal to 2. So let's substitute that. So 2 is less than or equal to 4. So therefore this is true. Right? Now that means according to this graph, I need to shade this way. Right? I'm going to shade this way. Right? Alright. The next one I need to do. So this line here is 2x plus 3y is equal to 30, right? Let me check the let me check this one. X plus y is equal to 8, right? That is this line here. I can choose 0, 0 as my test point. So x plus y greater than or equal to 8. So I'm going to use 0, 0 as my test point. So therefore x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. So therefore 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to 8. So 0 is greater than or equal to 8. So therefore this is false, right? What that tells me is that I cannot shade below this line. I need to shade above this line, right? That's what that's telling me. I need to shade above that line, right? And the last one we need to check now is this one here. 2x plus 3y is less than 30. So 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. I'm going to use 0, 0 as my test point again. Right? So we're going to say 2 by 0 plus 3 by 0 less than or equal to 30. So 0 is less than or equal to 30. So that is true. Right? So that means the test point lies in the region that I should be shading. So for this graph now, I need to be shading this way. Right? Now, we need to find a common region here, because I think that's what I want. On the graph, plot the 4 lines with the inequalities and shade and label the region of all 4 inequalities are, right? So based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like we're going to be shading this region here, right? That's the region that I'm going to be shading, and I need to label that, right? They said to label it R, so I'm going to label this as R. Did you all get anything looking like that? Right, I see you all saying, yeah, actually, so far I've only been streaming for like an hour and 35 minutes, huh? Right, and I'm actually trying to explain the questions at the same time. So that's only an hour and 35 minutes so far. Right, so that's what I'm getting for my region here. Let me double check that and make sure that's okay. Yeah, that's what I seem to be getting. Right, now let's see what they want here. Determine the 2 combinations for the minimum number of cars and minivans that can carry exactly 60 people. Right, so remember, X is cars. Make sure that is X. Yeah, X is cars. So this here is your cars, right? And this here is minivan. Right? That's what those 2 things are. Now, if you want to find, right, what we're going to do, to find out what they're talking about here, we need to look at these values here, right? We're looking at these values here. You have 4 different things here, right? And we want to get whole exactly 60 people, right? So determine 2 combinations that will give us that. Now let me write down the coordinates of those things here first, right? So this first one here is 4, 4. This is 4, 4. This one here is 6, 6. This one here is 9, 4. Right? Wow, we have 5 points. So this one here is 9, 0. And this last one here is 8-0. Right? We actually have 5 points to play with. Alright? So it's 4-4. That's 1 point. Next one is 6-6. The next one is 9-4. Right? And the next one is 9-0 and then 8-0. Right? So determine 2 combinations for the minimum number of cars to carry exactly 60 people. So remember, your car, right, holds, they said that somewhere in the beginning. They said the car holds 4 and the minivan holds 6. Right? So the car holds 4 people and the minivan holds 6. Right? So let's try some of these numbers here. So 4 cars, right, can hold 4 people, and then the minivan, so this is going to be 4 by 6, right? So that's going to give me 16 plus 24, and I'm going to hold 40 people here. For the next one, it is going to be 6 multiplied by 4 plus 6 multiplied by 6, so that's 24 plus 36. And you're going to get 60 here, again 60 people here. For this next one, it is going to be 9 multiplied by 4 people in a car plus 4 multiplied by 6. So that's 9 4s are 36 plus 24. And I'm going to get 60 again. So you realize I already have 2 combinations here that give me 60 people. This next one here is going to be 9 multiplied by 4 plus 0 multiplied by 6. So we're only using cars here. So that gives me a total of only 36 people. And then the last one is 8 multiplied by 4 plus 0 multiplied by 6. And I'm going to get 32. So the answer that they're looking for here will be this. So that's either 6 cars and 6 minivans. Or we can use 9 cars and 4 minivans. Those are the two solutions that they're looking for here, right? Right, so that's the part one. The next one here, the company charges $75 to rent a car and $90 to rent a minivan. Show that the minimum rental cost for this tour is going to be $990. So remember, we have the two combinations are 6 cars, 6 minivans. So these are a combination, 6 cars, right? That's 6x and 6y, 6 minivan. And the other combination is 9 cars, 4 minivans. 9 cars and 4 minivans, right? Now, we know that the cost to rent a car is 75 and the cost to rent a van is 90. So therefore, 6 multiplied by 75 plus 6 multiplied by $90, right? That's going to give you a total. So if we go with that combination, it's going to be 6 by 75 plus brackets 6 by 90. You're going to get $990. And for the other combination, you're going to get 9 multiplied by $75 plus 4 multiplied by $90. And that's going to give you 9 by 75 plus 360. And you're going to get 1,035. Right? So if you realize something here, the least or the minimum cost will be this one, which is what they said to prove. So we got that. Right? So that's your minimum rental cost. Right? So let's keep moving. Right? This one here is question 9. It's a circle geometry question. Yeah, they give us some information here, right? And what they want. They said explain given a reason why HJM is 38 degrees. HJM. So this is H. G, and where is M? M. That's this. So they're trying to say that this angle here is 38 degrees. But that makes sense because the line MK and HJ are parallel. So MK and HG are parallel, right? So therefore, we have two alternate angles. This angle here, right, this 38, and this one here has to also be 38. So KMG, and HJM are alternate angles. So they're looking to see for the word alternate angles here. So that's my answer there. For this next one here, MJK. Where's MJK? MJK. So they're trying to say that this angle here is 90 degrees. Well, that's true because that line MK is a diameter. So we're going to say that. We're going to say MK is a diameter. Right? So the angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Right? That's what you're looking for. Next thing, we want to work out MLG. Where's MLG? MLG. MLG is this angle here. Right? How are we going to get that? Alright, let me just put in on the diagram what I do know. So 38 degrees, so this angle here is 38 degrees, right? And All right, so watch what's happening here, right? So you know that this angle here is 90 degrees, so you can work out this angle here. You can work out this angle. So this angle here is going to be 180 degrees minus 90 plus 38, right? And you're going to get 52 degrees. So this angle here is 52 degrees. But the thing is, if this angle is 52 here, it means that this angle here is also 52. And why I can say that is because MJ is a chord, right? And angles in the same segment are equal. So we're going to say that this angle here has to be 52 degrees. And the reason is that angles in the same segment right? The next one they want is LJ key. LJ key. So they want this small little angle here, right? Let's see what that is now. All right, so that we can work that out, right? So these questions are not that straightforward, right? Now, you just worked out this here, you got 52. This angle here is 52 degrees, right? That angle is 52 degrees. If that angle is 52 degrees, it means that this angle here is also 52. How do I know that? It's because these two lengths here are identical. So therefore, this whole angle here has to be 52 degrees as well. So I can get this small angle here, right? So that small angle there, this here, this small angle here is going to be 52 minus 38 degrees. So 52 minus 38 and you're going to get 14 degrees, right? So if this angle is 14 degrees, right? If you notice something here, this line here is a chord. So if that's 14 degrees, it means that this angle here is also 14 degrees, right? I don't know if you all get some of these answers, huh? Right? So the answer for this one here is going to be 14 degrees. And the last one here, JHM. Where is JHM? Right, so that's this angle here, right? That's this angle here. If you notice something here, this, and this here, they form a cyclic quadrilateral. So therefore, this 52 plus this angle must be equal, right? Must add up to 180, right? So, that angle would be 180 minus 52. And you're going to get 128, right? And the reason here is opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral, right, supplementary. Right, meaning that they add up to 180. So that's your reasoning there. Right, I know some of you all may have taken rather long to reach this part. So I'm doing this paper live here, and I've been doing this for an hour and 48 minutes so far, right? And we're still not there yet. We still have the rest of this question and question 10 to do still, right? So I can understand. I can genuinely understand you guys taking long and having trouble to finish the paper. I understand, right? So from a port L, ship R is 250 kilometers on a bearing of 65 degrees, right? What else it told us here? From L on a bearing of 148. This information is illustrated. Complete the diagram by inserting the value of the angle RLT. So this is what we know. They said that this first bearing here, right, that's the bearing of from port L, ship R, right? So this here is 65 degrees, right? That's what we know. The ship T, that's down here, is 180 kilometers from L on a bearing of 148. So therefore, this whole angle here is 148 degrees. That whole angle is 148 degrees. So the angle that they want me to work out, because they said show RLT, right? That is this angle here they want. Now that angle RLT is simply going to be 148 degrees minus 65 degrees. And you're going to get 83 degrees. Right? That's what you're going to get. That's 83 degrees. So this here is 83 degrees. That's my angle. Right? 1 mark for that. The next thing they want the distance between the two ships. So if you all... So here's what we have, right? We have this. We have this. The angle is 83. Right? That's your angle. LR. So this is L. This is R here. And this is 250 kilometers. Right? And the next thing we have here is T, and that's 180. So this is 180 kilometers. And this here is T. And the question wants us to work out the distance RT. So by now, if you look at the diagram, you'll realize here what? We have to use the cosine rule in order to work this out. Right? So using the cosine rule, right? We're going to say that RT squared right is equal to 250 squared plus 180 squared. So I'm using the cosine rule. This is given to you in the exam. Minus 2 by 250, right, multiplied by 180 multiplied by cosine 83 degrees, right? So RT squared is equal to, so 250 squared is equal to 62,500 plus 180 squared, that's 32,400, minus 2 by 250 multiplied by 180 multiplied by cosine 83, and I'm going to get 10968. So therefore RT squared is going to be equal to 62,500 plus 32,400 minus 10,968, and I'm going to get 83932. So RT is equal to the square root of 83932. So RT is equal to, second function, that, and I'm getting rounding this off to the nearest kilometer, so I'm getting about 290 kilometers. Right? I'm just going to double check my answer. Yeah, I'm getting about 290 kilometers. So I don't know if you all got anything looking like that. Right, the next thing they want to know the bearing of T from R. The bearing of T from R. So therefore you're going to draw a north line here, and the bearing that they want, right, the bearing that they want is this angle here. That's what they're looking for, right? Right, so if this here is 65, I can work out this angle here. That angle is going to be 180 minus 65. That's 115. right? And what I need to do, I just need to figure out this angle here, and then I can work out the bearing. I'll just have to say 360 minus the 115 plus whatever this angle is here. So we need to work out this particular angle here, right? And for that one, I'm going to have to use the sine rule in order to do that. So let's do something like this. So this is L, this is T, right? The lengths were 250, 83. So this is 250 km. This is 83 degrees. This is 180 kilometers. And that's R. Alright, so this is the point R here. So what I'm going to do, and we already worked out this length here. We worked out this length and we got 290. So this is 290 kilometers. So all I need to do is to figure out this angle here. So I'm going to use the sine rule. So using the sine rule. Right? So I'm going to say 180 over sine. Let's call this theta to make our life easier. 180 over sine theta is going to be 290 over sine 83, right? And then we cross multiply. So this is going to be 290 multiplied by sine theta is equal to 180 multiplied by sine 83. So therefore sine theta is 180 by sine 83 all over 290. So sine theta is equal to 0.616. So theta is equal to arc sine 0.616. Right? So theta is equal to second function sine, and you're going to get about 38 degrees. Right? So that's that angle there. That's 38 degrees. And you already, previously we worked out, we know that this here, this angle here is 115. Right? So the bearing of T from R is simply going to be 360 degrees minus, we need to remove the 115 plus this 38 that we just found. And I'm getting 207 degrees, right? So I don't know if you all get anything like that. All right, so that's question 9. So let's do question 10 now, right? I actually did one of these as one of the questions when I was doing the broad topics live. We have two transformations. We have matrix A, which is a rotation of 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin. The transformation B is, what is this? A reflection in the straight line y equal minus x. Write the coordinates of P prime after it undergoes a rotation of 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this matrix here, right? And you're going to multiply it by the coordinate. So the matrix, you write the matrix first, 0, minus 1, 1, 0. And you're going to multiply that by the point P, which is going to be 7, 11, right? And when I work this out, I'm going to figure out what P prime is. So we're going to do our row by column. 0 by 7 is 0, right? Then minus 1 by 11 is going to give me minus 11. And then we're going to do row by column again. 1 by 7 is 7, 0 by 11 is 0. So this is going to be 7. So therefore, the coordinates of P prime will be minus 11, 7. That's all you had to do for that one. That's it. right? So that's the answer for part 1. For part 2, they said T is a combined transformation of A followed by B. I told you guys in class, we have to be able to do something like this. So if you want to, the first thing we need to work out what is the transformation T. So you're going to have to take B and you're going to have to multiply it by A, right? When you see A followed by B, it means that you have to write B first. So B in this case is 0 minus 1 minus 1 0. So 0 minus 1 minus 1 0. And I'm multiplying that by A, which is 0 minus 1 1 0. 0 minus 1 1 0. So we're going to do this as row by column. So let me see how this is going to work now. So 0 by 0 is 0. And then minus 1 by minus 1. So this is going to be minus 1. 0 by minus 1 is 0. Minus 1 by 0 is 0. So this is going to be a 0. Row by column again. Minus 1 by 0 is 0. So this is going to be a 0 here. And then the last thing here is minus 1 by 1 is positive 1. So we're going to get this here. That's what we're going to get as our transformation T. So determine the elements of the matrix representing transformation T. So that's it. That's what we're looking at there, right? And the next part here now, they said geometrically, the transformation T represents what? So if I were you, right? Right? So this is what I would do if I was in the exam and I didn't know what this matrix was. So this matrix is minus 1 0 0 1, right? I'll just make up a point. I'm going to make up a test point. I'm going to call it P, and I'm going to say, let's say that point is 2 3, right? When I multiply this out, I'm going to get P prime. So minus 1 by 2 is going to give me minus 2, and then 0 by 3 is 0. So this is minus 2. And then 0 by 2 is 0, 1 by 3 is 3. So you realize, so let me do a little quick sketch here to see what's happening. So this is Y, this is X. My starting point is 2 3, right? And then what happened? P prime is going to be minus 2 3. Minus 2 3 is going to be here. P prime is minus 2 3. So therefore, what has happened there is that, so they said describe the transformation. It's a reflection in the y-axis, right? Or the line x equal to 0. That's what they're looking for here. Next part, they gave us a matrix and they said in terms, defined in terms of a scalar constant, they said it's a singular matrix. If the matrix is singular, then the determinant of this matrix has to be equal to 0. So therefore, all you guys have to do is say 3 by 4, right, minus k by 6 is equal to 0. So therefore, 12 minus 6k is equal to 0, minus 6k is equal to minus 12, and therefore k is minus 12 over minus 6, and k is equal to positive 2. That's it. Right? So, wow, this paper is long. I'm actually getting tired doing the paper, right? Let's see what they want here. It's a vector question. In the diagram, we have OX represented by U, OY is represented by V, and OX and OY extended, right? So that X and Y are the midpoints of OA and OB, right? Express BX in terms of U and V. Where is BX? So BX is this vector here, right? So we want BX. According to that diagram, BX is going to be BO plus OX, right? That's my vector equation. So what is BO? BO is going to be negative 2V plus U, right? So that's my vector BX. That's what it is, minus 2V, because you see they told us that Y is the midpoint. And if here is V, it means here is another V. So therefore, if we're going from OB is going to be 2V. So in the reverse direction, it's going to be minus 2V. That's what it is. They said given that YA and BX intersect at M, so YA and BX. What is YA? Oh, so this is YA and BX. They intersect at this point here, which is called what? It is called M. Right? So this point here is M. What do you want now, babe? Such that BM is 2mx. BM, where is BM? Right, so BM is 2mx. So that means that if I were to divide up this line here, this is two parts and this is the next part here. Right? Now what do they want? They said express BM, so we want BM. Let's go to the diagram. So BM okay, so you know BX already. BX is minus 2V, right? So BM, so let's write down this ratio first of all, right? The ratio, so BM is equal to 2mx, right? So what that means is that BM is actually 2/3 of BX, right? So BM is 2/3 of BX, right? And you just worked out what BX was. You got minus 2V plus U. So this is 2/3 multiplied by minus 2V plus U, right? So that's going to be minus 4/3V plus 2/3 U, right? That's what this is going to be. What do they want now? They said using a vector method, show that YM to YA is 1 to 3. YA to YM. Right, so what I would do, I would try to find what is YM. Sorry, this is what it is, watching to see what vectors I have, right? So I have BM. All right, so YM, according to the diagram, right? YM is going to be YB plus BM. Right? According to the diagram, what is YB? YB is actually V. So this is going to be V plus BM. I just worked out BM. Right? We just worked out BM. Minus 4/3V. Plus 2/3 U. Right? So that's going to be, when I simplify this, I'm going to get 1 minus 4/3. So I'm going to get minus 1/3 V plus 2/3 U. Right? Now you're looking at lengths here because you're trying to work out a ratio. Right? So what I would do, I would go and find the length of YM. So that's going to be minus 1/3 squared plus 2/3 squared. And you find the square root of this. Right? That's what I would do. So 1/9 plus 4/9. Right? I'm going to get the square root of 7/9. Right? So that's YM. Now I'm going to work out what is YA now. So YA, or YA is going to be easy. YA is YO plus OE. Right? And YO, according to the diagram, is going to be minus V. Right? Plus OA, which in this case OA is actually 2U. Right? So the length of YA, right, is going to be minus 1 squared plus 2 squared. Find the square root. So that's 2 2s are 4 and 1. That's going to give you 5. Right? Now let me just double check this. I find this looking a little off. Right? One second, I just want to check something. 8, 8, 2. Right, let me just double check something here. Let's make a check to make sure we okay here first of all, right? Let me double check this first of all. Let's start back with bx, make sure that's correct. Bx is minus 2v plus u. Okay, so bx is correct, right? I'm sure about that. Next one here now, they told us that bm is 2 times mx. Bm is 2 times mx. Right, but Bm is really 2/3 of Bx. Bm is 2/3 of Bx. Yeah, that's true. So 2/3 and it's minus 2v plus u. So I just double checking to make sure I don't have any errors here, guys. That's all I'm doing, right? Because it's very easy to make a mistake with these things. So this is minus 4/3 and this is going to be 2/3. Okay, so this looks okay. Now ym ym is going to be yb plus bm. Yb plus bm, so this is okay. And yb is v. Right, so this is correct here. And bm is minus 4/3 plus 2/3 u. Minus 4/3v plus 2/3 u. So 1 minus 4/3, right, again minus 1/3. This is 2/3 here, and then oh, I know seen an error here, right? I have an error here. This is not 7/9, that is 5/9. Right? This is 5/9. Right, so now things might work out a little better now, right? So here's what we're gonna write. So they want me to show this. They want us to show this. Ym to ye. That's what we're trying to work out. Ratio of lengths, right? So ym, I'm getting 5/9 here to square root of 5, right? Now, if I want to get rid of the square roots, I'm gonna square both sides, so I'm gonna get 5/9 to 5, right? So let's make sure I'm making sense again. YO minus v plus 2a. 2 2s are 4 and 1 5. Let's double check something again here. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna work it in terms of decimals, right? Because it works out that way. Alright, I'm just gonna work out this exact value for you all. So 5 divided by 9, second function square root. And what I'm getting here for this length is 0.745. For this one here, I'm getting second function square root of 5, 2.236. Right? So if we look at the ratio of the lengths, we can say that ym to ye, right, is 0.745 to 2.236. So therefore, I can write this as 1 to a ratio of 2.236 divided by 0.745, right? When I work this out, so if I divide this by 0.745, I'm getting exactly 3, right? Which is what they said to prove. That's what they said to prove here, right? Alright guys, so right, alright guys, so that's basically it, right? So like I said, you can work in the decimal if you want, or there's another way we can work this, because this here can be written as root 5 divided by 3, right? And this one is root 5, and you're going to come up with the same ratio, right? You're going to come up with the same ratio. So you can work in the decimals if you want, or you can leave it as is. It doesn't matter, right? Alright guys, so that's it. I've done the entire paper for you all. So my assessment of the paper, right? I know several students wrote me and said that the paper was kind of easy, right? Based on my assessment of this, right? So I've been working the paper for like how long now? 2 hours and 17 minutes, right? But I mean, I'm giving you a little explanation as well, right? So the paper itself, I found it to be, it's a little difficult. The paper is a little difficult. So I can understand some of you all struggling and saying it was hard. I really understand that, right? But don't worry, if you found it was hard, it means that a lot of students also found the same thing, right? So what you could do is, that's it, the paper is done. We can't do anything at this point in time, right? So good luck guys, let's hope for the best, right? Yes, the paper was long, right? So I can see students struggling to finish this paper. This is it's a very long paper, right? And I understand that. So hopefully you all did well in the multiple choice, and the multiple choice was way better, right? I've seen the multiple choice and it was good, right? So guys, that's it for me for tonight. It was a long paper. I am tired now. I had a physics class earlier, right? So I am good there, right? I hope you guys like the solutions. Take care everybody. Take it easy. I'll see you all next time.